There is a propaganda push
Yes.
right now from the CCP to try and pretend like China has a high trust society.
It's the lowest in the world.
Very disingenuous, and it's actually dangerous because it might trick some people into letting their guard down.
There's two things. It's dangerous, and it's also unfair, because what China's trying to do right now, and we noticed this, if we put something out there that shows something they don't like, so for example, theft or violence or something that they're trying to downplay, when they directly respond to us, we won't say how they did, but they directly responded to us about this stuff, about package theft in particular, then we know we've hit a sore spot, because they're pumping tons of propagandists, and we've seen a lot of white guys walking around China, white chicks too, walking around China pretending like it's the safest country in the world. And they're all a script, right?
Yes.
And when we noticed that, we're like, that's gonna be something they're really trying to hide. So what they're trying to do is actually piggyback off of South Korea and Japan's real earned reputation for being safe, for being low crime, for being high trust. So everyone knows in Japan, you leave your wallet, someone will track you down and give it to you, right? Everyone knows in Korea, if a crime is committed, the police will find out who did it and punish them, right? No one thinks that China is a safe place, but they're trying to make everyone
they're trying to pretend. Like within China, people know, the Chinese people know, but they're trying to put this image out to foreigners that it's a high trust society. So, we'd like to bring you some up-to-date clips. This was shot on the 25th, so, a couple days ago. It's last week. And again, take a quick look at what's happening here. See if you can spot it. Okay, I'm going to say pay attention to the mother holding her child walking into the shop.
Yoink.
Yep, no more phone for you.
No phone for you.
Theft and pickpocketing in China is rampant.
And they have rings that do it, right?
Yeah, you can see the guy on the scooter waiting to take it away. Last week we showed you a clip. Was it last week? I think it was last week. We showed you a clip of a child almost being kidnapped. And the father didn't realize. Remember, he walked out of his shop. And well, here's another close kidnapping. And look, we're only ever going to show you the rescues because it's too heartbreaking. Yeah, it's too heartbreaking to see when they're successful, which they are all the time.
Over 100,000 kidnappings, successful kidnappings in China per year. Over 100,000.
Yeah, I think it was 70,000 was the last. But who knows? That's
the estimates right now.
The estimates, All right, so take a look. This woman is busy kidnapping this child.
This is on the 24th.
Yeah, this was on the 24th. Again, last week. Mother runs up, rescues the child. Kidnapper just waltzes off. You see, this happens a lot.
So it's so common that if you brought it up with a Chinese person, this is the one thing everyone will agree on.
Yes.
Every Chinese person will say, I would never let my kid play alone because they will get snatched in China. Everyone knows this. Yes. Everyone takes precautions in China. That's why this woman was able to run up and grab her kid, but it still happens. It's insidious. There's whole gangs. I've seen them myself. You've seen them yourself. It's such a part of Chinese society that's not addressed. In fact, instead, when the parents go and have these big, not protests, but like, please help me find my baby or whatever, in the park, the cops try to block it off so people don't see it.
It's awful. Here's the thing. You're in an urban environment here. You're in a city, downtown. The mother's with her child, probably at her own shop or doing her own thing there. This middle-aged woman just nonchalantly kidnaps the child, walks away, and then when confronted, just kind of carries on as if life is normal. No one's running after her to try and stop her, and she'll go grab the next child that's available.
Yeah, this is happening over 100,000 times a year in China, successfully.
Yes.
Now, this is an unsuccessful attempt.
Yeah.
To be a CCP apologist, an American guy from America, that moved to China to work for the Chinese government to spread propaganda that says this doesn't happen in China is effing evil.
It is evil.
It's evil.
So again, with knowledge you can be forewarned. Okay, and you have to understand that in China, never let your child out of your sight.
Yeah.
Okay, I would never do that, and neither would any Chinese person I know.
Nope.
So anyway, here's a successful,
Props to the mother for figuring it out.
That was so close. Did you see? She was taking the child down the road.
And there'll be a van with a bunch of guys in it.
One horrible thing about Chinese society is people won't get involved. So if they see a child screaming being dragged down the road, they'll probably think it's a little like family dispute or something, and they don't get involved. They won't go and say, is everything okay to the kid?
Nope.
They'll just let it continue.
I just, there's a little agitator in the chat, and I'd just like to point this out because it's a good segue.
Yeah.
Tim S. says, this happens everywhere.
Does it now?
Does this happen to over 100,000 children in broad daylight every single year? And then the response is that the government silences the people that bring it up.
Yeah, by the way, I know there's a statistic that seems very high for the amount of children kidnapped in America, but I looked into the statistic and it's bogus. It's like any child that's been reported missing and, who just didn't turn up, but then was returned immediately or came back
Custody
home.
battle stuff.
Or it was like the mother or
Divorce.
the father like called the cops, my husband took the kid or whatever, but they resolve it.
Yes.
So if
That's
you actually,
the vast majority
like
of them.
something like 89% of the cases are resolved immediately within hours of being reported.
Yeah.
So it's a disingenuous statistic.
It's wrong.
Also, the Amber Alert system in America is amazing.
Yeah.
And I was blown away when I came to America, and I remember my phone buzzing, and it's like Amber Alert, looking for a Honda Civic, silver Honda Civic with this license plate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And then it turns out if there's a kidnapping, they release like an Amber Alert, which goes out, like broadcasts to everyone to look out for this kidnapping victim. That doesn't happen in China.
So in China, the statistic I'm giving you is successful kidnappings of unreturned children.
Yeah, they didn't get returned.
No, they
didn't
get sold. You don't even want to know what happens.
Yeah, let's not even get into it. It's horrible.
You can look it up yourself.
Again, China's kidnapping problem is horrendous. And no, it doesn't happen all over the world. It doesn't happen in the UK. It doesn't happen in the US. Go look closely at the statistics that you're looking at. You'll find out that it's bogus. And it's incomparable. China wins on this one. I'm sorry. China is worse.
Hand over fist.
China is far worse when it comes to kidnapping than any developed country.
Not even close.
Yeah. Not even close.
Not even within percents.
Yeah. So please don't. That's a false equivalency.
Yes. I didn't mean to react to trolls, but I think it's a great way to
Oh,
point
yeah.
out.
We have to point it out because they're always trying to defend this.
Well, when I see Wu Mao's in the chat popping up, it means we hit a sore spot.
Yeah, exactly.
I know for a fact they're trying to promote this safe society thing and high trust society thing.
Yeah, they are. Anyway, thank goodness that child wasn't kidnapped.
Yeah.
See how close that was? Yeah. Okay, speaking of high trust societies, we all know about this thing called the broken vase scam. I'd like to show you everybody a perfect example of the broken vase scam in action right now. So these guys are all loitering around the entrance to what appears to be a housing complex. All right. So let's take a look. Here comes obviously
see a rich guy.
Yeah, they see. Oh, there's an Audi coming in. They must have some money. So let's see what's going to happen. So, can you see what happened there? It's a gang.
Usually it's one dude.
Yeah.
This is a whole gang.
Well, this is what they do for a living.
Yeah.
So the one guy jumps in front of the car, pretends to be injured, while the other guy immediately jumps up, and they are now going to be the witnesses, right? That say that the other guy hit them.
Yep.
And when the cops get called, all these guys who are in cahoots will go tell the cops, "No, he hit him. It's his fault. We saw it. We witnessed it." Unfortunately for them, there was a camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better watch out for the broken vase scam. That's what they call it.
That's huge in China.
Yeah.
High trust society, right?
Yep.
You feel like it's ground floor.
Remember this?
On the ground.
Ground level.
The ground floor.
On the ground level.
The ground floor.
Ground floor level.
Ground.
Ground floor.
Ground level.
On the ground floor.
First floor.
First floor.
Ground level.
floor.
The ground.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that we were on terra firma. However,
We are actually.
we are in fact.
But you actually.
I'm actually.
While actually is actually. You're actually.
But actually. We're actually.
You're on the 22nd floor of a building.
On the 22nd floor.
22 stories up.
20 stories above the ground. You're on the 20th floor.
Is that we are 22 floors up.
We are on the 22nd floor right now.
That's a 22nd floor.
Yeah. 22 floors up.
You're at 22nd.
On the 22nd floor. On the 22nd floor.
And down here, there's 22 floors down the side of this building. Oh my days, check that out.
22nd floor.
You remember that? Puzzle?
Yes.
Remember that was when tons of YouTubers, knowingly or unknowingly, I won't point fingers, participated in one of China's propaganda campaigns to
massively.
promote Chongqing, a absolute hell shithole place, to be honest, a shithole city.
It's interesting.
Yes, it's interesting, but it's interesting from, you know how they say cyberpunk?
Yeah.
They're like China's cyberpunk city. That's not supposed to be a positive thing. That's like dystopian.
Sure.
It's polluted as hell.
Yeah.
It's ugly. It's poorly planned.
Yes, it's falling apart if you go out of those main tourist areas.
Yes.
It's also it's rampant, full of prostitution and
It's bad.
horrible vice.
Because it's the, what's it called? The wealth gap in Chongqing is nuts. It's nuts, right? You have the poorest people in China next to the richest people in China.
Yeah.
And it's wild, right? So it just creates this very dystopian, it's ugly.
Yeah.
It's an ugly place. But they turn the lights on at night and these skyscrapers and they get all these YouTubers to go out and they pay them, some of them.
Yeah.
Promote it. Anyway, we figured out this campaign. We put it all together. And it was interesting to see this because since then, there's a lot of eyes on Chongqing, obviously, right? A lot of eyes on the city. And so we notice when something happens, like, for example, this.
Oh, yeah, this is the ground level.
This is the ground level. This is in Chongqing.
Yeah. Scaffolding collapsed.
I mean, this is minor for China, but we just thought it'd be fun.
Now
to
we're on
bring
the
back.
22nd
We're
floor.
on the 22nd floor, looking down at the ground
level. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of pedestrians were trapped underneath that, between the railing and the scaffolding. Not safe.
Oh, by the way, this building in Chongqing,
22nd floor building.
dude, look at this. Look at this, guys. I'll give you 10 seconds. Is this not 22 floors?
Yeah, this is 22 floors.
This is how 22 floors becomes ground level.
Let's take a look. There we go. So this is recently knocked down. They made a big fanfare about this.
Yeah, some people were claiming there was like homeless people living inside.
Yeah.
I think it was like debris.
Yep.
It looked like debris and towels flying around.
Yeah.
You can do your own research.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how 22
Ground
floors
level?
becomes ground level.
Exactly.
I remember you left my spirit with you high is all I'm feeling. Remember.
You're whipping a gay vampire. You're a Chinese woman, you're addicted to whipping a gay vampire, and your husband left you.
Yeah. 70 men in less than 2 hours, huh?
What the?
That's cringe.
What? What?
I don't know why I want to cry.
And he says, cry if you want to. Glancing at you, a hint of pain flashed across his eyes.
Okay. What's going on there?
Why accidental Nazi?
Well, he's a Nazi love interest, you know. They look like women.
They literally all look like women.
I'll remember to keep my distance from you next time. Hold me.
Oh my gosh!
It didn't take long.